On January 15, 2016, UP 8727 East was going over a foggy San Timoteo canyon near El Casco. At the time, there were still a few unpatched SP engines rolling around, but they were getting pretty rare, even for 2016. The third engine here was one of those few SP survivors, and didn't have much time left with its original number. Also behind the consist was one of the short-lived Aero wedge containers, which was supposed to reduce wind resistance. Apparently, the railroad decided it wasn't cost-effective and discontinued its use. Oddly, about an hour later, another eastbound came up the hill with another SP painted engine, albeit with UP numbers. Even in early 2016, it was extremely unusual to get two Southern Pacific lettered engines on the same day, but on January 15th, it did happen. We're situated near the Centennial Bridge between Hinda and Beaumont. The fog was beginning to lift, revealing that California sunshine. Recent rains started turning the surrounding areas green. UP 1988 in the MKT Heritage Scheme led an auto train westbound near the former location of the Redlands crossovers. Climbing the Box Springs grade near Riverside, a train consisting of empty double-stack cars was headed to March Field for short-term car storage. The date was April 17, 2016. Metrolink's Paris Valley line was still under construction, so no commuter trains were running to South Paris yet. This particular photo angle is now impossible to repeat today since industrial buildings have been built here. On November 23, 2021, fall foliage was evident just about everywhere around Frost on the Cajon sub. From a distant hilltop, an eastbound Z train was seen making its way toward Victorville. From an eastbound perspective, this was literally the end of the descending grade from Summit. It was also the beginning where the Mojave River, more or less, paralleled the Cajon sub all the way to Barstow. Between Lenwood and Barstow, another eastbound Z train with a trailing Canadian National unit was seen coming into town in the early morning. Unless it's a long pool crew that handles trains between San Bernardino and Needles, all trains stop in Barstow for crew changes. Within a matter of minutes, this train will be speeding along the Needles sub with a fresh crew on board. On June 5, 2020, we paid a visit to the Mojave Northern near Victorville. Engine 419 started life in 1978 as a Union Pacific ST40-2 and has been rebuilt by Knoxville Locomotive Works. It's now known as an SE32C with a modern look to it. Gone are the days of running Fairbanks Morse diesels to the Black Mountain Quarry. Even with modern power, this 16-mile-long industrial operation still offered some great photography potential in this part of the Mojave Desert. On the 10th day of June 2020, we landed in San Dimas in time to catch the BNSF Pasadena local making its way to the brewery in Irwindale. At this time, construction for the Metro Gold Line hasn't affected the area yet. Nothing looks like this now. At least the former Santa Fe depot was unaffected by the construction. In Glendora, this scene looked remarkably much like it did when the Pasadena sub was still a through main line. The aging telegraph poles and wires were still standing in many areas, creating a somewhat anachronous look for 21st century railroading. We waited for the local to return near the same location. In the distance, the last surviving Santa Fe-era cantilever signal for this entire line can be seen above the train, which has since been removed. It protected the east end of Glendora siding back in the day. In fact, our man recording this video was riding on Amtrak's eastbound Desert Wind in the late summer of 1983 when it took Glendora siding for 3 westbound freights. In 1986, the Desert Wind was permanently routed on the San Bernardino sub. By 1994, Amtrak's Southwest Chief was also routed along the southern track. Shortly after that, all through freights were halted forever on the Pasadena sub, and it was relegated to branch line status to Irwindale until Gold Line construction started. The thick rows of trees gave the impression we were in the middle of a big forest rather than the middle of suburbia. The Pasadena local was based at Kaiser Yard. The Gold Line construction, along with the Irwindale Brewery changing owners, resulted in a temporary shutdown. It has since reopened, and the local, once again, was able to serve the brewery. The old Tri-Light signal stood abandoned on the right and was replaced with the new signal on the left. The entire Pasadena sub was controlled by automatic block. Relaxing, tree-lined locations like this with no visible fences are increasingly difficult to get in the modern era. Thanks for watching.